Hello, everyone. My name is Alex, also known as Splits, and today we're going to be going through a developer journey of my game, known as Block Assault. So let's get to it. Today we're going to be looking at what the game mechanic, what like the initial inception of what my game was, which is here, and we're also going to be looking at the end result, what my game is today. But first, let's just go back to basics. Let's go check out the original game mechanic. And first off, we're going to be looking at so basically what my game mechanic was is that I've wanted to do a car game where you're in an assault course and you need to stay on the track, avoid the obstacles, all that kind of stuff, make the jumps, and all that. But my first question when it came to it was, how would the car run? How would the car steer? How big? How light should it be? What the camera should be? And at first, and it took me many times, but I managed to get it sorted. So today we're going to be looking at the first version, if it loads. If it plays. It did work before. It should work. Okay, let's not do that. Okay. Okay, scratch that. That one doesn't work. Doesn't work. So, yeah, let's just go with this one because it's still the similar thing, but it's just improved upon. So here we go. This is the first version of what my game mechanics was. So as you can see you press W, you go forward, you press space, you slow down to a grinding halt, and then you go back, space, you brake, and then you reset. And in the corner here, you can see that I've implemented a timer that goes up and down, but of course this was very rough implementation, so as you saw here, as soon as it went 30 seconds, it just jumped to 1 minute for some reason. So that's fun. And another thing you can really see in this game demo is that, first of all, this car doesn't have wheels. As you can see, the wheels are invisible, and the car is very slow, it's very heavy, and if you tilt it too much, you just fall over, and all that jazz. So, let's just quit over here and look at what the final version was. Final version of my game's mechanics. So we're gonna have a playthrough here, and as you can see, the car is a lot faster now. The camera is a lot different now, and the timer is, I think it's fixed. And yeah, you can go over the ramps better now. The ramps are a lot more. The ramps aren't as huge as they used to be. So there's all that, and then there's also the reset and braking. So how did I fix all this? So first off, let's check out the car controller, the camera controller, all these things needed. Okay. And as you can see here, let me just do this. How are we doing? Doing good? Yeah. So what we did was that I made a public list of all the wheel info, which is a separate class here, and I made it serializable so that you can add the wheels. So that here's the car. You add the wheels here, which are wheel colliders, and I added them here. Added them here, and then I check whether they are motor, whether they are checked for doing the motor and the steering, and so the front ones are yes, and the back ones aren't. So, and then I also changed a lot of the torque and the angle, just to mess around with that, see how that goes. And then I added car transform and the rigid body, and this helps out with the reset, because if you see here, if input get key R, then it resets the rotation and the position. But however, as you saw here, it doesn't really reset the velocity that it's going in. So if you just kept pressing this and holding this, you go really fast. This was the thing I fixed in the main game, so we'll talk about that later. And another thing was that I added this add force thing, so it helps you boost faster. Of course, this didn't really work to the best of my knowledge, so I got rid of this completely. And that's really about it. Let's talk about the camera. Now, this camera thing, in the original one, I just used a simple camera. I used it to follow. But however, the camera just followed exactly where it was. So let's just go back to the original car mechanic. As you can see, it followed the player here to a T. And I had like some complaints about people getting nauseous, or like someone said, oh, someone might get nauseous, or I think that was it, yeah. So what I did was just change it completely. So what I did was that I did a transform, I did a should rotate public bool, so over it should rotate, and it would do a look at, transform look at the target, and then all of this is so we get the angle of the target, so we use the Euler's angle form and the Y, and then we get the wanted height, and then we get the current angle and height, and then we just do a math.lerp angle and a mat.flerp to get everything sorted. Time, yep. And we get the current rotation, and then la-di-da-di-da, we add these to the current transform position, and then we just create a new vector free, and then we just add all the extra info in here, and there we go. Bob's your uncle. And you got a camera. And then this is the timer controller. So what we did was just do, it's fairly simple. We did a time plus time. No wait. Time equals time plus time delta time. And then we just did and then we just like separated it into minutes, seconds, and then the fraction time. And then this is just a simple if statement for for what to do. So we had a 0, we had the 0. Yeah, this like calculates the time into the timer label so that it correctly does the time. Now, this is pretty much all I can say about the game mechanic. We got a car, it steers, we have our base, the minimum base project that we have here. So, let's quit out of here. Let's quit out of here. Yes. Let's quit out of here. And let's check out our game. So first, we can get rid of those two, but first we're going to be checking out the first gameplay demo that we did in November. So we're going to have a check here. Let me make it windowed. 6,100. And as you can see here, the main menu is very blocky, very basic. So we have our start button. I think this starts at the game. Starts up the level, I think so. And then we have our option, and as you can see, we have a basic volume setup, and that's really about it. If we quit, and it quits the game, but we don't need. But let's just launch this back up, and we start. And then here's our level select. We only have one level in this build, so. Whoa, okay. And now we have our game. Oh god. Actually, oh shit. There we go. Volume's turned down. So as you can see here, this is our original game. This is the track that we have, and we have some lovely textures, aka blue. And if you see in the top right corner, we see our timer, and we have some stars. And you're thinking, ooh, what are these stars? Well, these stars are like technically the. Whoa, oh whoa, okay, I managed to do that well. And these corners, ooh, pretty tight, but I managed to make it through them. And these jumps are very nice. Good job. And then we jump. Whoa! There we go. And if you go through a certain time, one of the stars will disappear. So this is basically our rating system for each level. I can show you how they work just now. And whoa! Crazy. We did a flip. And we won 2 stars. Hooray. We can retry it. And we retried it. That's good. Let's exit level. That's all we needed to see. Just one level. And so, yeah. I think we're going to be looking at... Yeah, let's look at how we did. We can look at the PPPs later. Where did we put the timer? There we go. There we go. Now, this is pretty big. So, what we got here is we have our stars, which, if we go to 2D, actually, this is the wrong thing, wrong level. Let's go to level 1. There. That's level 1. As you see, we have these stars. We have the star system here, and I think, yeah, time controller. So what we do is that if time is more than or equal to 3-star time, which is set here, 60 seconds. Well, in the original it was 50. We would make the time label color turn yellow, and we turn off the first star. And then, well, actually, it's if it's less than 3 star. But if it's more than and less than the 2 star time, and we just turn it yellow, turn that one off, and then if anything else, we turn it red, and then we deactivate the other star. And then we have some other cool stuff. We have a private void, so that if we restart the level, it doesn't re-continue the time. So we have that. We also turn off this if finish bool. And these are all static because these all use the finish line. New finish line class. So what we do here is that we have a public game object. So we have a win UI, the pause UI, star text, and many others. And so we have all this like untrigger stuff. So if the other game object tag equals player, then we destroy the pause UI, so that you don't have to. So that whenever you pause, you don't open the pause menu when you've won the game. Then you turn off the camera, and then you activate the win camera, and then you play some confetti, and then you set the win UI, destroy a checkpoint, which we'll talk about soon. We call the time controller finished thing, and then we do the time controller, call the time and the time controller everything into here, and that's how we do our star system, and say, oh, you won 2 stars, 1 star, 3 star, etc., etc. Now let's find our checkpoints. There we are. So these checkpoints are scattered around the thing, scattered around the level, and each level we have these death triggers, so that if the car falls off, if the car falls off, then it just resets it back to this position, or as you saw in our game, we have a checkpoint flag, which when you pass it, it would of course place confetti, and then changes the checkpoint position from over there to over here, and it does it through this checkpoint changer, which we'll look at now. So here, so untrigger enter, same thing as the finish line one, and we also have this as well, where we find the game object with the player tag, and then we update if keycode get down equals keycode R, then we reset, and then if we reach the trigger, which is our death triggers here, then it would also reset. And here was the problem that we fixed earlier. So as you saw here, we reset the position and the rotation, but the velocity kept going and the angular velocity as well, so it just kept spinning and spinning, it kept flipping over, all that jazz. So what we did was we just reset the vector, we reset the velocity and the angular velocity, so that when we so let's just give a Actually, no, wait. Let's not play this now. We'll play it later. So basically, it just resets at 0, and you don't have any movement. Okay. Okay. I don't think... What else do we need to talk about? Oh yeah, let's just talk about our... I forgot to mention the, Let's turn this down. That's too loud. That was a thing. Another thing was the music. We have this, like, simple 5-second loop of this drum and bass kind of thing. It was very annoying after, like, 10 tries. 10... Not like 10. I forgot. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah. Another thing, let's talk about this car. This car looks terrible. And doesn't control well. So basically, I'm not sure what the problem was, but with the steering, it's very slippy. It's very not very good. You flip very easily. And these were all problems that they were mentioned to me like many times. So I was thinking, okay, how do I fix this? How do I fix the cars? And I'm not sure if I fixed it in this version, but we'll play this anyway. Just to see what improvements I did. So, this is the latest demo. And, ooh. Wow. This is so much better than what we had before. So, as you can see, this is our new car. With a texture all made by myself and everything, and we just made this main menu look very jazzy, very good, and as you see, we still have our settings. So, let's click start. Level 1, we still have 1 level. Whoa, the car is very loud. And whoa, it's I don't know how to turn this up. Alright. Let me go in the menu quick. 1 sec. There we go. You don't have to deal with the car noise. So basically, the UI has been completely fixed. Or well, fixed as in we have new titles, we have new fonts so that they look nice and pretty. Another thing is that we can talk about the PPP. So basically, the PPP is the post-processing profile that we used. So we basically have anti-aliasing, ambient occlusion, depth of field, motion blur, bloom, and then color grading, which is what we did to make this wonderful looking level. Another thing is that we made the roads look like actual roads and not just floating blocks in the sky, floating blue blocks. The ramps are still blue, or well, bluish. And also the car is still a bit crazy. Some of the problems of it being easy to flip are still there, but not as much as they were before in the old gameplay demo. So if you have a look here. And also another thing is that we have visual effects. So we have like a car exhaust, we have brake visual effects as well. Normally a skid sound would also play as well, so we have all this cool stuff, and it's awesome. And we also made this makeshift tunnel as well. So let me just play through this bit so we can show you the win screen ending. Oh, whoa, yeah. Actually, never mind. Let's not do that. Let's talk about why the car was flipping all the goddamn time. So basically, our car has the... Let's look at the wheels. We have these wheel colliders. And the big issues that we have was that the front wheels had a lot of sideways friction to them, and the back ones didn't. So of course it kept flipping over. So we fixed that. We made 50 and 52 for the front and right, and 30, 32 for the back, so that when we play now, the car plays better now. So yeah, we fixed that all very good. And we should also talk about the car audio as well, because that's something that's very important. So, hang on. Reload all of that shit. Hello, this is the car audio. So basically, this car audio was just taken from the standard assets vehicles project. We just used the car, and we put the car in here. So basically, it's almost identically the same. However, we had to change some things. First one is that we had the camera, and we have 2 cameras. This is just simply for the wind camera and the main camera, just so that the car audio can still be heard. So that's that. So we have all this kind of, I won't bore you to details, but the only things we changed was really 2 things: the engine rev and the accel input, which we added in here. And there were some few things we changed as well. First off, particle systems. Particle systems are very important. And we also have a top speed. So this top speed only goes to 150. It's just so that you don't drive off and go crazy. And we have the engine rev set at 0.2. Normally the engine rev will continually going up, but however, I don't know how to do that, so I just stick it to just a regular one. And then we also have the accel. We made a float accel, so it's just using the get axis vertical, and then the accel input. And then we clamp the accel to 0 and 1. Yeah. And so that, and then here's the thing we do for here's the motor, and if it's more than top speed, we just cap the top speed, cap the motor to the top speed, so that we aren't driving 5 million miles per hour. And then we also have the motor. We also changed the motor torque a little bit, so it's just 1.5 F instead of 2. And we also have our audio playing, so that when we brake, the audio plays and it doesn't go absolutely crazy with the sound. Because that was one of the problems I had, is that whenever I pressed the space bar, it would continually start doing the space, start continually playing it, but it would only play it for like 1 frame and continually do it for every frame. So, and it just made this really annoying noise, and it was just terrible. So not else to talk about other than what I did. So what the game is now. So this is like the latest version. So let's launch our main menu. Let's also turn this down. So Block Assault, still the same thing. We also have a controls button. So this shows off what controls we do, the break, the reset car, return, yada yada yada. Still recording. I haven't been rambling on for like 5 years. We start, and we also have 2 other levels. I will not be playing these levels. Play them yourself. And we also have our previews. So this one is it's a very calm, simple level. And then we have this level, which is very chilly, very miserable. And we have Wrecking Balls as well. I think this one's my favorite level, just simply because of the setting and the prefabs I made with the lights. They're all very nice. But each level, this one's the easiest one. This one's quite tricky, but this one is the hardest because, you know, tight steering, Wrecking Balls, you know, all good fun. So let's play this level. So yeah, this is my level as of right now. Absolute perfection, I think, maybe. I don't think there's anything to improve. Oh yeah, I just realized. Okay, so one of the biggest things was that I wanted to do a unlock system. So 1, 2, 3. If you do 2 stars, you unlock this level. You do 2 stars, you unlock this level. I have no idea how to do it. So the star system is kind of a bit pointless, unfortunately. So sorry about that. Maybe in a future update I will actually add it. Okay. So yeah, those were my levels. So those were my iterations that I've gone through. All 3 of them. I couldn't show you this one because this one doesn't seem to work. But it did work before, and the original version was just terrible. Just not good. So yeah, that's all I can say really. Check out my game Block Assault on I should be releasing it tomorrow. When I'm like the day I'm recording this, it should be up tomorrow, but I don't know when I'm releasing this. Probably today really, but anyway, nice to see you and ta-ta.